It's 10 p.m. The hedgehog's been sleeping over in our hedgehog house. This is the time they usually wake up. He scratches and he heads over to the feeding hut. Inside the hut, this is a medium-sized hedgehog. He seems to be in good condition, but he seems to be young. This is a new camera. I'm still deciding if I like it. It gives a very bold text at the base. It's not a bad thing, it's easy to read, but it can be a bit bold. This little hedgehog, he's enjoying the food. But look, he stops. He's listening. There's something outside. He doesn't raise his spikes. But there's a big hedgehog. This big hedgehog hits our little guy and spins him around. The hedgehogs that don't seem to hurt each other. But we had in our previous episode, we had little Limpy. He had a bad leg. I'm sure it's this kind of thumping that must have hurt that leg. This big hedgehog, he's got short hair, but he doesn't have any clear markings on him. But he heads over, he eats some of the food, gobbles it down. He seems a bit unsure what to do with this little guy curled up in a ball inside the bowl. A bit of an awkward position for the little guy. But he turns around. I can see now this big guy. His right ear is complete. This is not Big Boy. Big Boy's got a chunk out of his right ear. This is Jerky. We've had this big hedgehog around a bit recently. He's still relatively new. We weighed him just 2 days ago and he was just over a kilogram. He's a big fella. But he heads out and he heads down to the hedgehog house. Maybe he's taking a break. Back in the feeding hut, our little guy is upside down. It's an awkward position. He seems unsure of how to get out of this odd position. He must have got a nasty fright. This is all arms and legs. This is real baby-like behavior. At first we thought he might have got hurt. But he gets himself up. He seems to be okay. He looks somewhat dazed. He does look like a youngster. Maybe he's one of this year's babies. But Big Jerky has emerged from the house. He heads back up to the feeding hut. He wanders around outside a bit. And he goes into the hut. Our little guy is still there. And he hits him again. He hits him hard right into the camera. The camera resets its exposure. And we can hear Jerky scratching himself in the background there. We see that Big Jerky has headed off again. He just came in for the bashing like we had last time. Our little guy recovers himself again and he heads out. We see that he heads out of the garden. He didn't drink after eating those dry pellets, but it's been raining, so there's a lot of water everywhere, so he should be okay. It's now 11 p.m. and there's another hedgehog. This doesn't appear to be Jerky. He has some markings on him. Markings on the back. They're temporary markings, but Jerky didn't have those. I think this is BP. But Tatiana says that I call all of them BP, so I don't know. Maybe it is him. We know BP well. He's been coming for quite some time. But he wanders about and he heads out again without eating. But it's now 11:30 p.m. He's back. This time BP wanders into the feeding hut. It seems that he can smell what's been happening here. There must be the smell of stress in the hut. They must have a very good sense of smell. And he doesn't eat. There, BP, he wanders all around the garden. He nibbles a bit on some old pellets that I'd thrown out from the night before. It's been raining on those. They'll be a bit soggy now. And he heads out into the night. That's it. It's morning now. It's bright. The naughty blackbirds are scrounging on the scraps. This is the female blackbird. She's in and out. She clearly knows she's up to mischief. But it's another day. Thanks very much.